and welcome to another episode of Bushcraft Survival. Today we're going to be looking at how to light a friction fire using the hand drill method. As always, before we light any type of fire, it's very important that we have our preparation done correctly and ahead of time. We have our platform of parallel sticks. We have our matchstick size thickness twigs. We have a pile of pencil thick size twigs up to thumb thickness and then larger. Very important to have that all laid out ahead of time. The tinder we're going to be using today is a combination of paper bark and cabbage tree palm fibre. There's lots of cabbage tree palms in this area, and the fibre which grows up near the top is excellent for fire lighting. So that's what we're going to be using for our tinder bundle today. The wood we're going to be using for our hand drill today is the native coastal hibiscus. In another episode we're going to be going out into the forest and actually collecting the wood and making the set from scratch. But today we're going to be using a set that I've already pre-made and dried. Now it's very crucial that the woods we use for the hand drill set are the correct woods, because we don't have the mechanical advantage that we do when we're using the bow drill method, because we have to create the downward pressure with our hands. So it's imperative that we get the right woods. Very soft, a balsa-like wood. Grass tree is another great one from the Xanthorrhea species. That's another great one for hand drill in Australia. But we're going to be using the native coastal hibiscus. There are two parts to the set with the hand drill. We have the drill itself, and we have the half board. The half board's exactly the same idea that we use for the bow drill, and it consists of a small flat board, a hole drilled into it, which I'm going to show you how we do that, as well as it's been notched to collect our wemba. And I'm going to show you how we do that, because I need to make a new hole in this set. And we also need a base plate. In this case it's a piece of paper bark, and that's going to collect our ember so that we can transfer that to our tinder bundle afterwards. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to make another hole in this to receive our drill. So all I do is I take my knife out and I'm just carving out a little circular indentation that's going to allow the drill to fit inside that, so that we can further carve that out, and then we'll put our notch in it afterwards. Now I'm not going for a cold yet, we're just putting an indentation in the wood. Because I don't have mechanical advantage, I have to use downward pressure with my hands. Okay, that's all I need to do, and what I've done there is I've just created an indentation. Using the friction from the drill, I've just made that hole a little bit deeper, and now I'm going to get my knife and I'm going to notch that. What I find is actually the best thing for notching, if you have one, these Swiss Army knives are great because the saw on them actually cuts. It's one of the few knives out there where the saw is actually great. Great for small tasks like notching. And all I'm going to do is just to save time, you can use your knife. And I'm just going to cut a little V-shaped notch into that indentation. Now I don't need the notch to be as big as we do for the bow drill. What I like to do is, after I've notched that, I just like to tidy that up the bottom, make it nice and smooth, because we don't want any rough areas collecting any embers. We want it to fall to the bottom. And what I'm doing, I'm just taking off the bottom, beveling the end, and that just allows oxygen to come in underneath and get to the ember. I find that works quite well. And there, as you can see, we have our indentation and the notch that I've just created. And in that notch, our ember is going to fall and collect on our collecting tray, which is our piece of paper bark underneath. What I might do, I'm just going to tidy up the end of my spindle or drill. Flattening that out. So I want that to spin freely. Now, depending on the type of wood you use, will depend on how fast you have to spin it. Some woods require more speed rather than downward pressure. Other woods require more downward pressure, and it's just a matter of experimentation with the woods that you're going to use. And you really do have to experiment. So what I'm going to be doing, I get my posture. Because I don't have mechanical advantage, I'm going to have to apply downward pressure with my hands. Initially, I'm just going to go nice and easy to warm up the set, to get it nice and hot, and then I will apply downward pressure with my hands. I'm just gradually increasing the speed now, increasing the downward pressure. See smoke coming out. What I do is I take my knife and very gently I clear the hole where the ember was collected. And as you can see, we have a glowing coal. Very carefully, bring that up here so you can have a closer look. You can see that. I've got a bit of time here. There's enough dust or powder there to let that grow a little bit longer, a little bit larger. So I'm going to allow that to do so. And then I'm going to transfer that into our tinder bundle. Our tinder bundle, as we said, is a mixture of paper bark and cabbage tree palm fibre. What I'm going to do now is transfer that into my awaiting tinder bundle. And very gently I'm going to blow that to flame. And there we have flame. I turn that upside down to enable that to catch because flames want to rise up. Place that on my fire lay. I get my very fine twigs and I'm going to put those on top first, not dropping them onto the flames because that'll just smother it. So I'm just allowing some air and oxygen to get underneath. When the flames come through the top, I get my second layer. I'm going to split those in half. I'm going to crisscross those over the top. Smoke myself out in the process. As always, the wind's always going in the wrong direction. Once the flames come through the top, I add my next layer. In this case, pencil size sticks. Crisscrossed over the top. If your preparation is done correctly, you'll find it's very easy to get a sustainable fire within 5 minutes. And that's burning quite nicely now, so I'm going to get my other level of kindling, which is thumb thickness sticks, and I'm going to also crisscross those over the top. My preparation was done correctly now. I can very easily go away for 5 minutes and leave this fire, and I know it's not going to go out. I hope you've enjoyed this episode on how to light a fire using the hand drill method. My name's Gordon Dedman, and I look forward to seeing you again on another episode of Bushcraft Survival.